What's up, music fans? I am Kevin,
I'm Derek.
and as always, we are last week's album. Happy New Year. We haven't seen you since last year. And with that being said, January is always a slow month in terms of releases, so we're easing back in with an EP, and we're also bending the rules. This came out, I think, in November, but we're making an exception because we like it so much, and nothing else good came out last week. So, before we get too far in, cheers, as always, to you, Derek, and everyone watching at home.
Likewise.
And let's jump into this EP. It is called Born to Party / Born to Be Old. The name of the band is Other Lovers, and they are an Austin-based band. They were formerly a duo of Megan Fowler and Brandon Boyd, no relation to Incubus, and they released an album, just the two of them, in 2012. Since then, they have added another guitarist, Chase Dungan, a bassist, Travis Glass, and drummer Sean Ragsdale to make it a full-on five-piece band. And as I said, this EP came out November 26th. So, let's jump into Sounds Like. Derek, what do you got?
Kevin, I think Other Lovers sound like a musical double date between Johnny and June Carter Cash and Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen.
Good get. Good get. I like that. I think this EP sounds like those Darlins got a deer tick that infected them with a quarter-life crisis.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So if that's not enough bands to throw at you guys, well, it should be. All right, let's get into key tracks. What do you have, Derek?
Kevin, my key tracks are Satisfied, Can't Party Here, and All of My Nothing.
All right, I also have Can't Party Here and All of My Nothing, but my last one is New, the last track. So let's start with Can't Party Here. Kick us off, Derek.
Can't Party Here opens with a rocking guitar riff, cymbal bass, snare drums. It creates this country western sound with a bite, as I felt. The lyrics lament a point in one's life when all your partying compatriots have hung up their party shoes and you find yourself drinking alone. Not that we at last week's album know anything about that.
Yeah, we have no idea. We only drink.
Very lively and great lyrics. I thought that really captured that feeling. Not that we know anything about that again. But one of my favorite lyrics here was, "Can't party with assorted cheeses. Can't party with incurable diseases. Can't party with your nephews and nieces. Can't party here." And I constantly am being chastised for trying to party with my nieces and nephews, all one of them. So I really related this track, the lyrics, and just, as I said, the country western sound with a rockin' vibe just really grabbed my attention.
Yeah, I dug it for similar reasons. I really like the heavy guitars, the wailing vocals, the popping drums, these guitar and voice verses where the guitar and voice mirrored each other. And then overall, it kind of had this dark underlying tone vibe to it. I'm sure intentionally to play off the theme there, as Derek mentioned, looking for a party. No one wants to party with you. My favorite line from this particular track, I try to drink by myself, but that's a whole other sad song. And overall, the song for me really captured the spirit of this EP in one track with its message and its music. You can feel the tension there in a really good way. So that's why I dug it. What do you have next, Derek?
My next key track was Satisfied, which was actually the EP opener. This one kicked off with a rumbling electric guitar riff, a Spitfire bass snare, drum beat, and I thought it really sounded almost like a modern-day Folsom Prison Blues. Even though these guitars were distorted, there's some sort of effect there. It was still full enough, and you could really hear the nuances of the chords being played. I thought they really captured well some of these just classic country sounds, albeit in this just in-your-face rocking type method, if you will. One thing I really liked was the vocals bounce between Megan Fowler and Brandon Boyd, weaving a tale of ex-lovers struggling to find satisfaction in their relationship, or the end thereof. And I just really enjoyed the way they split up these vocals, the male-female vocals, to weave this story together, along with the rockin' sound, just fantastic EP opener.
Yeah, I dug that one too. However, I'll jump to the end of the EP here. We're going to go totally out of order. Hang on, guys. New is the name of the track, and this one was my favorite one on the album. Driving drums, earnest vocals, chugging guitars, dual vocals on the chorus between Brandon and Megan. Really nice touch. And, you know, the song describes that feeling of you can feel something happening, but you can't quite put it into words. And I think eventually they just throw caution to the wind and just go into that feeling regardless of not being able to tell exactly what's going on. At the halfway point, there's a dropout, and then this steady build with really nice drum fills. The drums were probably my favorite part of this song, so strong work, Sean Ragsdale. Kick-ass job there. And it's a standout track because for me it was the most rock, at least straightforward rock number on the album. And it also, I think, brought them together really nicely as a band. Really good orchestration, really cohesive playing. So that's why I chose it as my favorite on the EP. Let's move on to All of My Nothing, Derek, and jump to the middle of the EP, completely out of order.
Back to the middle, All of My Nothing. If the last song we just described was like the epitome of rock on this album, this song, All of My Nothing, is the complete opposite, as I felt this was one of the most epitomized the band's country sound. There was some steel guitar, strummed acoustic guitar, and just easy-paced bass snare drums. Lyrics humorously describe life at the rock bottom, very rigid almost in structure. However, I thought they changed it up throughout the song that really kept me engaged. One of my favorite lyrics was, "All of my kitties would rather be strays," and I mostly like that because my sister just brought some cats home, and she would just be so devastated if they ran away. And I thought the way they just captured that, and at least having annoying kitties in my presence of late, really hit home here.
Such an animal lover, Derek. I chose All of My Nothing because I really like the pedal steel. I thought that was a really nice touch. As you mentioned, Derek, this is probably the most country track on the album. For me, it had this really low-key honky-tonk charm that really came through. The funny, self-deprecating lyrics were nice. The two-step beat, bouncing bass. And Boyd took the lead on the vocals here, which I thought was the right choice. We hear Megan in the background, but his voice, I think, definitely serves this song well. And then my favorite part of the song, the line goes, "All of my solos I'd rather not try," and then I'm guessing Boyd, if not the other guitarist, intentionally fucks up the solo, which is just awesome and hilarious to me. So you can tell they don't take themselves too seriously, and that's nice, especially on this track. So, on to best lyric. Derek, what do you say?
Kevin, my best lyric actually comes from one of the tracks we didn't even mention, called Bulleit. And Boyd is singing here, and he says, "The bars down on West 6th have all lost their flair, filled with the boys and girls with perfect hair, hunting for models and millionaires. Wish it was me, I ain't going anywhere." And I really like that, being someone on West 6th and not having perfect hair. I was like, F all them with perfect hair. You know, I ain't going anywhere, and I just thought he really captured this well. Once again, as you mentioned, the self-deprecating humor, even just kind of underwritten into these lyrics. I thought it really captured their affinity for partying and disdain for those that aren't looking to party as hard as them. I dig that. Go big or go home.
Right. That's what we do here at last week's album, and we highly recommend it. My best lyric is from Can't Party Here. Derek, you actually mentioned it earlier. It goes, "Can't party with assorted cheeses, can't party with incurable diseases." I just love the nonsensicalness there. I'm sure it means something to the band, but for me, it just comes out of left field and really made me laugh one of many times for this EP. So, overall rating. Derek, kicking it to you.
Kevin, I'm going to give this a 4. I think at first I was looking at 3, but the more I listened to it, the more the lyrics grew on me. I just really dug their vibe as far as showing this affinity for partying, and then I just really liked the way they incorporated elements of country western sound with this rock and punk influence, and they did it well. You might hear us talking about blending these two sounds together in mind. I don't know about that, but they did it very well. And I think the band's intensity is palpable throughout the album. Even in my notes here, I say especially the chorus of closing track "New," as you discussed. And I think their intensity is also reflected in the length of the songs, as the longest track, "New," as we just mentioned, is 1 second over 3 minutes. So they're a little quick, but at the same time they pack a lot of emotion and jokes into every song, and I really dig that.
All right, Derek, we agree. I'm also giving this one a 4 out of 5. Granted, it's an EP, and the tracks are short. I'm cutting them some slack because it is an EP. I would love to hear them take some of these tracks in a few different directions and, play a little bit more as a band in each track, which I'm sure will come with time. As we said earlier, they only recently added the full band to the lineup. So I can't wait to see what's to come. Good mix of tunes. The common theme really came through for this EP. It didn't feel like a lot of random songs. They put it together really nicely. The lyrics and sounds all bled into each other really nicely. And Megan Fowler, I'm going to give her a shout out here. Her vocal dynamics really adapt to each song. Brandon's do as well, but Megan's really do, and they really fit each song really well. She sings in different ways, different volumes, and emotions behind it. So really made the songs come through in that way. And so yeah, there you have it. Right out of the gate in 2014, a 4 out of 5 on an EP. No easy feat from us here at last week's album. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And we are last week's album, talking about good music. We'll see you next week, guys.
Cheers.